Welcome back to Metropole Business Center. Now, Notify Logistics is a company that focuses on the needs of small businesses through provision of affordable solutions. The company has come up with innovative solutions, including the rent-a-shelf concept that has helped business owners reduce rent by up to 90%. Joining me on the show today to explain to us how Notify Logistics is solving problems of small businesses in the country is none other than Waweru Nderitu, the CEO of Notify Logistics. You're welcome to the show, Mr. Waweru.
Thank you very much for having me.
So now, Notify Logistics.
Yes.
Personally, it's not the first time I'm hearing about you. There's a bit of a buzz around town in regards to what you do. So just to help us understand and also to hear it from the man himself, Notify Logistics.
Yes.
Exactly what is it that you do, and how are you then standing in the gap to ensure that you help, with solving some of the myriad of challenges that SMEs in the country continue to face?
Well, interesting question. So Notify, what we do is basically we provide space, but we also give the full suite of a small business, a full suite of services that a small business would need to succeed. So over and above space, now we're offering things like marketing support, we're giving deliveries and logistical support. So if a client was to order a product and they are, say, in Kisumu, we will actually handle it on behalf of our clients. So we're the ones who will dispatch the product and make sure that the client gets it on time. So what we do, Notify, and interestingly, we know Notify started from a small business. We were small businesses, we experienced the challenges, then we set out to solve those challenges, and we ended up with a company called Notify. So what we do is we take small businesses and we give them the whole range of support, logistical support. So we give them space affordably, which has now birthed the rent-a-shelf concept, which has gone on to serve tens of thousands of businesses so far. But we also give marketing. We also give free photography for our clients. We give them free logistical support. We have now free deliveries in Nairobi. So yes, Notify is a company that supports small businesses. Yes.
And I'm glad you've brought about the concept of space, because I know this is really one of the main things that you're doing, and I would like to dwell a little bit more on that rent-a-shelf concept, because I know it really has revolutionized, or rather disrupted, the way small businesses were doing their thing, from having to go out there, and we all know what the cost of rent is in this town, or even if you're trying to, wherever you're trying to go, the cost of rent still remains a bit high. So if you're trying to take us through this rent-a-shelf concept, how it came to be and how it works, help us understand this.
So the rent-a-shelf concept is a very simple concept. When we had a small business, my wife and I, we realized that space in Nairobi is very expensive. And so we decided to come up with a new concept, something that is affordable, but a small business will be able to achieve. And we learned, we did a lot of research, and we actually relied a lot on the new sharing economy thing. And so what we realized is space can actually be a utility as opposed to an overhead for a small business. What that means is we decided to get a small shop. We put a few shelves in it, and then we invited small business. Instead of taking the whole shop, just take a shelf. The shop has a shop attendant, it has licenses, everything is taken care of by the owner of the shop. So the small business, what they do is it's a plug-and-play affair. You pay 3,000, 5,000 shillings a month. What you get is a fully serviced shop. Now you can ask your clients to come and pick your products at a very premium location in Nairobi town. You'd pay 5,000 for a location that, if you were to take the whole shop on your own, you'd pay north of 100,000 shillings, because we have shops that we pay way in excess of 100,000 shillings a month. So the principle itself is anchored on sharing economy. The fact that many people can come together and use this space as a resource, everyone with their own shelf, everyone attending to their own businesses. And since then, we've actually pivoted, and we've learned a lot of things from the rent-a-shelf concept. Now we have Notify Mall, which is 3 floors at the heart of Nairobi, along Moi Avenue. 3 floors where small businesses have come together, and now we're giving consumers a very unique shopping experience. So the concept itself is built around sharing economy, and that has allowed small businesses to actually save a lot when it comes to not only rent, but the entire overheads of running a business. Yes.
But still in line with that, what would you say the uptake, or even I would say adaptability, looks like with that? Because I would think, like, with a concept that's so foreign, people are not used to it. And in this part of the world, really, we're kind of late when it comes to adopting such things, especially when it seems so out of the box. So how then have you seen the uptake? What has the conversation looked like? And you've also mentioned that with this simple concept, you've picked so many lessons that have then informed other decisions. I would also like to hear about that.
Yes, it's actually, you've nailed it actually. This is true. When we start something, when something starts in this part of the world, people are very hesitant to take it on. You know, when Airbnb started, it was embraced quickly by the people, in the West. It was heavily funded, and now it's an export when it comes to Kenya. We consume it. So for us, we pioneered something absolutely brilliant. We came up with a way of allowing small businesses to co-share space effectively and efficiently, and it unlocks a lot of value. I can tell you that over 90% of our clients would not have a location in town were it not for the rent-a-shelf concept. Why? Because space was, and still is very expensive. So for us, the challenges we faced were the obvious questions. Small business would come and the obvious questions. One of the most commonly asked questions back in the day was, so I'm supposed to pay you and then leave you with my stock. How sure am I you won't close tomorrow?
That would be my question, really.
But it's been an interesting journey for us, because 4 years later, people have learned, they've come around, and they've learned to trust us. This is our business. Right. It's an innovation that I can tell you for a fact, it is here to stay. Why? Because of the efficiencies it unlocks for a small business. Let me just repeat this: over 90% of the businesses we've served, and this is thousands of small businesses. They would not be in town were it not for the rent-a-shelf concept. Because even space, we are talking of goodwill, you're talking of rent, you're talking of deposits, of service charge. You have to get someone to attend your shop, then there are the licenses and whatnot. So yes, setting up a small business and seeing it up to maturity is a lot of work. What we do is we support them to make sure that they actually succeed. Right.
So, Oweri, you mentioned when you're trying to explain to us the mandate of Notify Logistics, you talked about, obviously, you address the problem of space for businesses. You offer a wide range of marketing products. However, when it comes to small businesses in the country, one of the things that keeps popping up is lack of access to finances.
Yes.
Lack of access to credit. It has been a recurring problem. We've seen so many, stakeholders come up with solutions, products to try and address this problem, but it still prevails. So as someone who's working directly and mainly in this space, would you say you've come up with solutions to come and help this, and how then has Notify Logistics also stepped in to try and help out with the whole issue of finance, because we're tired of hearing about this, really.
I know. Capital is one of the biggest challenges for any business, actually.
Right.
So what we've done, actually, I think the biggest risk when it comes to lending to a small business is usually accountability. How sure are you that this business will repay? Most small businesses will start without a credit history, so they will not give you 4 or 5 years. They will not give you audited books of accounts. So to the traditional financiers, it becomes very hard to lend to a small business. And I understand them, because they also need to be accountable to the funds they have. So what we've done as Notify is we've organized small businesses in they've become sort of a cooperative society. We have so many businesses under one umbrella now. And because of that organization, we've been able to negotiate with a few financial institutions so that they are able to extend, credit loans to vendors, with Notify, being an umbrella body. So we sort of give them an external cushion, that even if one business doesn't pay, we will still step in. We have their products, we have their sales, so we are able to at least mitigate some of the risk that a financial institution would face when they're dealing with an individual business. So that has made it easier for us to be able to give our vendors the value, the extra value that you're part of a community. And this community, we can negotiate and engage with institutions on behalf of our members. And that's how they stand to benefit. So yes, our members find it easier to access credit because of the partnerships that we have in place at the moment. And that at least, they get not only, it not only becomes easier, but they even get preferential rates, slightly lower rates because of the community aspect. Yes.
Now, I'll still like to make reference to a statement that you made. I mean, you said the reason why you even got into this space is because you yourself started out as a small business, so you're really, really cognizant of the challenges that are out there. That's why you developed a wide array of products, and you touched some of them.
Yes.
But like we all know, again, the SME sector is riddled with so many challenges. So again, beyond the partnerships you have with financial solutions, with financial institutions, beyond the rent-a-shelf concept, what else as an SME who comes to Notify Logistics, what else am I going to get from you? You know, like
Yes.
what if my problem is not I have already premises?
Yes.
What if I'm all right on capital? What else will you be able to offer me? Like, do you have a wide range of solutions depending on who comes to you, and how does that work?
Yes, we actually have a whole range of services because we actually understand what a small business needs. So we, at the moment, what you're doing for small businesses is we have a product that we recently introduced in the market. So this is addressed for the businesses that, yes, they have a bit of capital. Now you're looking to scale up your business. So these are businesses that want a partner to grow with. And what we give them is, first and foremost, that we have multiple locations in the country. So we have Nairobi, we have in Mombasa, we have Nakuru as well. So for businesses that are looking for growth, we have a package that allows them to actually get in all the 3 malls that we have. So you'll be present in Nairobi, you'll have presence in Mombasa. We give you marketing support. We have a marketplace, notify.co.ke, which is a marketplace that is fully run by Notify on behalf of our vendors. And what we do is that we give them marketing support. So once you bring us your products, we also have our own marketing team, and their job is to assist you to grow your sales. And most recently now we've introduced free delivery. So once you come into Notify, what you give your clients is free delivery. In this world of that we're dealing with the pandemic, the online space has actually grown significantly.
Right.
And one of the challenges that we face with online growth is delivery, the last mile delivery. How do you get a product from your store to your house? So that process, it can be very expensive. But what we're doing as Notify is now we've invested in logistics, and we have partners who are assisting us in that, and we are able now to give all our clients free delivery. So if you come to Notify, that is something that, unless you're part of a community, it's something that is also almost impossible for a small business on their own to implement, because delivery can be expensive. But again, because of the economies of scale, having many businesses at one place, these are things that we give now to a small business. So, and it goes beyond that. We do free photography for all our clients. This is professional photography. And I'm sure you'll agree, in the times we live in right now, people actually make the decision to buy online. Right. Then if you have the time now, you can visit the shop. But the first search nowadays, consideration happens online. I
would agree.
Yes. So photos are very important.
Right.
If you do a good photo, you're at least 40–50% closer to making a sale. So what we give them, and again, this is just to highlight that we actually understand the problems of a small business. So we give them free professional photography. You bring your products, we do photography, we distribute it in our branches. So you have a small business here in Nairobi, but they will tell you that they have 3 branches in the country, exposing them to a wider market and increasing their chances of actually surviving. So yes, we have, it's beyond space. Right. It's the whole logistical support to making sure to that point where the customer gets the product. Yes.
Now, Wawari, let me tell you something. I mean, we're sitting here, we're obviously talking about the solutions, which are so amazing. I'm even excited just listening to you. But would you believe me if I told you that if we walked outside this door and we started to talk to some SMEs just outside that, they would not even have this information?
Yes.
What I'm saying is, there are people out there who are offering amazing solutions for SMEs, and I'll even talk about Notify Logistics. But if you're to go and do a quick survey or sample on the ground, SMEs don't really know what's going on. There's a massive information gap between the problem and the solution. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, and then also how this can be addressed so that at the end of the day it's all encompassing. So you're not doing amazing things over here, but it's not really trickling down to the person who you're trying to target. Yes. Or in as much as I know you got uptake, but there's still a bigger pull out that we need to consider. Yes. So the problem of information gap, of getting the solution to the problem.
Yes, that's a real problem actually. And again, this will we'll go back to the concept of, to the idea of capital, that small businesses do not have the resources to actually engage in massive campaigns to getting their products and to get information out there. But again, this is a problem that is unique to the country and the continent that we live in. Small businesses will rarely get the financial support they would need to actually scale up. Things like, when you talk of venture capital funding and whatnot, we have limited budgets as small businesses. So it goes without saying that even our marketing campaigns are usually very minimal. That affects how we get word out there. When you start a business, as a small business, you need that business to feed you. You need that business to pay your rent. You need that business to pay you for your airtime. So your marketing budget gets really, really trimmed. But again, that's what I'm saying. As Notify, what we're doing is we're trying to change this narrative. And by creating a community, we're able to bring people, give them access to capital so that you're able to advertise, to get the much needed capital to grow your brand. We are getting into partnerships with different institutions to make sure that we are also trying to help the businesses to grow their footprint. We as Notify, what we're doing is we actually, we are in this place where we have to really rely on our background. I'm an economist by training. So this is what it helps us to unlock value by bringing in capital into the company. But just creative thinking, modeling your product differently, so that you're able to bring in partners who will be able to give you a bit of capital to just market. But yeah, I mean, we cannot compare ourselves with the other companies that probably are fortunate in the West. People who, just an example, we have small businesses, an idea that will get funded to the tune of almost $1 million just to execute the idea. That's like 100 million shillings. For us, that is unthinkable. Absolutely. We have to go 5, 6, 7 years before someone takes you seriously. And that explains why most small businesses will actually die before they hit their 5th birthday. What you're trying to do as Notify is to change that, building a community, supporting them in their marketing campaigns, bringing in partners who are able to give a bit of capital to the businesses that need the capital, because we have people who have amazing products. That one I agree with you. All they need is just a little bit of support, and then they will actually grow. Yes.
Now we have to talk about the pandemic for sure.
Yes.
Well, the pandemic has obviously affected the way business is carried out in the country. It has had a very dramatic impact on small businesses in the country, with so many of them even having to close shop. And the ones that have managed to stay afloat have had to modify and really innovate around how they do business. How has Notify Logistics stepped in during this period in terms of coming up with the right products for the market in our current times, and also how have you then solved problems that are facing small businesses in the midst and light of the ongoing pandemic?
Perfect. So yes, the pandemic has really turned things upside down for any business, actually, for all businesses out there. And we've not been spared either. The first phase of the pandemic was extremely brutal for us because we're the businesses who rely on you take space and then you add value to the space, and you expect now the people in the space to be able to pay you enough to meet all your overheads. So when clients are unable to pay, you're left with a lot of very high overheads. And that was our problem when the pandemic struck. We were left with empty spaces. It was very expensive, and it was not unique to Notify. Most of the landlords in the whole country and in the world, especially corporate clients, you realize that this was a big challenge. So for us, we really had to really do a lot of thinking to come up with products that would allow us to grow and also invest in businesses. What we realized is when the pandemic hit, we knew that unemployment would mean that we have a lot of small businesses that will be created. The reason is when someone is let go from a job, you're given a small severance package. What you do with that severance package is most people will start a small business. So we knew now more than ever we actually need to support small businesses, because for some of these people, this is all they have left. And we have amazing stories of people who started the business in the midst of a pandemic. And when they came to learn of Notify, we were their only partner back then. So what we've done for small businesses is we introduced the package where you pay a certain amount of rent. And then what we do with you is that we have a guarantee, minimum sale guarantee, where we tell you, because we know we're in a pandemic, for a certain period of time, we will not bill you rent unless your sales hit this much. What that allows them to do is now they can afford to plan themselves. They are unafraid, because the fear of rent now is, at least we are able to limit it to some extent. Because now you only pay rent if your sales hit a certain threshold. And then while still in it, we are helping you to get to your sales target. We give you professional photos, we do marketing on your behalf. Now we're introducing free delivery. So we are supporting you in the goal of reaching in the goal of reaching your sales target. But in the event you don't, because we have so many people who started a business for the very first time in the midst of a pandemic because they lost their jobs. These people, what they needed was just that small support to allow them to just do the first 3 months, understand the market, understand the products, And then some businesses actually took off. They're doing extremely well right now. So what we are doing for small businesses is we have a product where we understand the issues that a pandemic brings, and we're able to walk with you the journey. And we agree, if your sales don't hit a certain limit, then for the next month we exempt you from rent. Why? Because we know we are resilient people as a nation.
Right.
All you need is just that little support to just get you going, and eventually, things eventually, you turn the corner and everything brightens up. So we are seriously, when we say we support small businesses, we are serious about it. It's something we've done a lot. We have the Notify Mall now is built. It's a supermarket for small businesses.
I've seen it actually.
Yes, it's very interesting. When you walk into the shop, it's a whole ecosystem.
Right.
Everything you want, you will actually get it there. If it's shoes, electronics products, kitchen products, home decor, whatever you need. And this gives, this allows us to, it's a community of small businesses. They come together, and when they're together, it's not an individual small business. It's actually a big ecosystem, and giving a lot of value to even the shoppers walking in, because we are giving you holistic shopping experience that trickles down directly to our small businesses. And just to add, a final thought to it is, normally Notify, we don't add a markup to the products. So the prices that, if you buy a product at Notify for 800 shillings, you are guaranteed that 800 shillings goes to a small business somewhere. And it's a livelihood someone is, you're actually supporting someone make ends meet. So it's an end-to-end process for us, and it allows us to support small businesses.
Now, staying with the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, unless I have the wrong guy, I don't think I do though, I know there's an initiative for women in business, right?
Yes.
Would you like to talk to us about, I knew I had the right guy. Would you like to talk to us about that?
Yes, so early in the pandemic, we came up with a product. I started by saying we had two products in the pandemic. So the first one was, of course, now the Notify Mall. The other one was a more subtle program that we had. And this, we realized women are the, backbone of the economy, truly speaking, and what we did is we came up with an initiative where we allowed people to, we put our shelves on offer. We allowed someone to buy a shelf, and we would rent it on your behalf for a period of 1 year. It's very interesting because now we are actually finishing the 1 year, because it started last year in August. So what that did is we got people, and a lot of these people, let me just remind you, these are people who had lost jobs. They'd been given a severance package. These are people who didn't know what to do. Right. Do you move back home because now rent is an issue? And so we gave them an option. We told them, you know what, let's partner together. You can take a shelf with Notify. Notify will get a vendor on your behalf. That becomes your shelf. We will rent it out for a period of 1 year, where the person paying rent will actually be paying to you. So that allowed small, especially a lot of Kenyans to women specifically, to actually take advantage of this program. They would come and buy a shelf, and that would mean that over the next 1 year, they would get a bit of income every month, something to keep you, something to just make you make the ends meet. And that has been absolutely overwhelming. We got a lot of women who responded to the program, and it's been a very nice journey. These are people who 1 year later we've become very good friends with. Why? Because they've seen the value that Notify has given them over the last 1 year. We have people who have paid rent specifically because they took part in our program. Someone who took 10 shelves. And what that allowed them to do is that over the last 1 year, they've been getting a bit of income from our vendors. So that kind of creative thinking, what it did for Notify, it allowed us to unlock a bit of capital early on in the pandemic. But for the people who joined the program, it allowed them now to get at least a consistent stream of income, and they were able to plan themselves to that income. And as we come now to the close of the 1 year, because the contract was for 1 year, it's for us, it's a joy to see what we've done for these people. It's been that one initiative that has allowed us to actually touch the lives of very many Kenyans. Children who are not able, children who did not move back in their gishagis, because mom finally could afford rent in the midst of a pandemic. And that was, for us, it gives us a lot of joy to just see ourselves come 1 year later, having partnered with so many young Kenyans in this initiative. Yes.
Now, Waweru, before I even let you go, I mean, Notify Logistics has come and disrupted the way people are doing business in this country. In fact, some people would even argue that your idea is ahead of its time, yet here we are. People are ripping from it.
Yes.
4 years into the market, we're still doing this. The pandemic is here with us. What next? I mean, what else do you have in your bag of surprises? What should we see as small businesses in terms of solutions, in terms of enabling growth, and just like businesses achieve their optimal? What should we look forward to from Notify Logistics?
We have a lot to offer. What small businesses can expect from Notify is a partner that actually understands their problems, and a partner that is, you know, all we focus on is growing their brand. Now we are moving to bigger spaces. We are creating bigger ecosystems for businesses. We have spaces that can accommodate anything from furniture to groceries to a holistic shopping experience. And we're calling on small businesses to come on board. Why? Because when we merge our businesses together, we are no longer a small business. We are a force to reckon with. We are, you know, we have a variety and a collection that no other institution can actually match. Why? Because individually we are experts at sourcing for a specific product. We have people who are very good at going to Gikomba and getting second-hand dresses. And because they have the connections, they know how to select. We have people who make soap from goat milk.
Right.
You know, these are goat farmer, and they have this skill set they're bringing on the table. When you put everyone together, it becomes a really big force to offer, because we give consumers a very unique shopping experience, something that is unmatched in the country. And now what we're doing for Notify is the free delivery. I know for a fact that this is definitely a game changer. We're allowing businesses to target the whole country when you're doing your marketing campaigns. Why? Because now the cost of delivering a product to a person in Ruaka and delivering it to a person in Bondo is the same. We are making it very easy for us to move products from point A to point B through partnerships that we've been able to form over the last few years. So what we'll continue to do is to do two things: to support small businesses to grow. That one is our core mandate. The second thing is to offer shoppers a very unique shopping experience. The days of going to town to look for a shoe and you have to walk from shop to shop to shop comparing, those days are gone. You come to Notify, you will have over 50 vendors selling shoes. The variety that we give you is unmatched. If you're looking for a heel, a leather shoe, a boot, whatever it is that you're looking for, Notify gives you a holistic shopping experience. And you know, as a matter of fact, actually, for shoppers, in our shops, we'll give you free tea or uji, because we understand the weather. You know, this is.
And imagine that goes a long way.
Yes.
You would be surprised.
It actually does. The reviews you're getting are actually very interesting. It's the small things that would make a shopper come back. You know, there are small things, but you know, we say the thought counts more. So we know it's the weather we are in. We are also struggling, you know, with the cold, and we thought of our shoppers, and we're like, you know what, this we can do for our shoppers. And at least now when you walk in, because we know you'll take a bit of time to shop and whatnot, at least we'll give you a cup of tea to just make sure that you're warm when you're shopping. But at the end of the day, it's to support small businesses. We have events that we do with our vendors. So next week we have a skincare clinic, we have dermatologists, we have experts in skincare, and just putting something together that gives value to the shopper, so that you'd come, you know, we're allowing them to ask the questions, ask the experts, know which product suits you. A happy client, you know, for us, a happy customer will always come back.
Absolutely.
And that is value to our vendors. So it is interesting how Notify it is interesting how our interests are aligned to the interest of our vendors and the customers. It is a very unique business model. And I can tell you for a fact, this business model will change completely how we think of retail space and just the retail business in this country.
I literally have nothing useful to add except to say thank you very much for making time to come to talk to us. And I'm so sure our small businesses at home that have watched this show have got beyond value.
Thank you.
Well, that was the CEO of Notify Logistics, Waweru Nderutu, talking to us about everything that Notify Logistics does, how it supports small businesses, from the rent-a-shelf concept to helping with access to finance, to just really a wide range of solutions to the problems that are facing SMEs in the country. Believe it or not, we've come to the end of the show, but remember, you can be a part of the conversation by sending your questions, queries, feedback to our social media handles at Metropole TV KE on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. I'll end it right here, but don't go anywhere because Kelvin Nyakundi will be here very shortly to bring you Metropole News at 1. Have a great day.